I am Amita, co-founder of Nourish Talk, a platform for holistic and natural medicine. In our education session today, we are going to talk about how acupuncture can help with opioid withdrawal. Presenting this topic, we have Dr. David Lee with us, who is Master's and Doctor of Philosophy in Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. Dr. Lee has published a lot of books on acupuncture. He has also created a protocol called Bisoma and Tetrasoma acupuncture. Dr. Lee practices out of his LA office, and he has treated thousands of people for different ailments. Welcome, Dr. Lee.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Love to present information that will be helpful to you.
Is there anything I missed out from your credentials? Your credentials are so long, so I just wanted to keep it very minimum to give our viewers the, just an idea.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I got the credential. I'm a practicing acupuncturist, and I do Oriental medicine, herbology, a lot of different things. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, I publish books too.
Thank you. So this is a Q&A session, and viewers are welcome to ask questions in between as well. And so I'll just start with Dr. Lee, if you could just give an overview of opioids.
Okay, well, opioids, there's different type of medication. Yeah, some of you may already know. They're morphine, heroin, fentanyl, OxyContin, oxymorphone, codeine, methadone, Vicodin, and hydromorphone hydrochloride. Of course, these are not meant to be taken for longer than several weeks. Usually it's between 3 to 5 days. But of course, many people just have to take it for a longer period of time just because nothing else seems to be as helpful as those. And perhaps they're also wanting to continue to take that because it makes them feel good. So that's why it poses a problem of dependence, and it affects a huge number of people, and it affects the country's gross national product, and it's not insignificant amount. The healthcare cost, the unemployment rates, not being available to work or school, and of course, people dying earlier than they should. And the cost is between 0.2% to 2% of country's GDP. If you would kind of imagine that new construction that happens I'm in United States, so that happens in United States is about 6.5%. And as you know, the economy is, although right now it's a little on the lesser side, that yearly there's more constructions that are happening, buildings and homes. And again, that takes about 6.5% of it, and 2%, that's very high cost due to being addicted to opioids.
Okay, well, that was a very good overview. So we will move on to our topic as to how does acupuncture work and helps.
All right, well, how the acupuncture works, that's still a mystery for a lot of people, and including acupuncturists, but depending on what you mean by that. If you want to explain acupuncture through biomolecular process, that's a whole nother question. But acupuncture has been around for such a long time that we know how to explain it just using different concept, different wording. And so I came up with this. I came up with this one sentence explanation of acupuncture, which is a stimulation of trigger points in the skin, resulting in normalization of chemical balance. So I did not talk about the process of it. I mentioned about point A and leading to point B, which is the desired outcome. So acupuncture is breaking of the skin with small, thin needles. They don't have to be large. They don't have to be big. They don't have to cause pain. You don't have to feel anything, because stimulation of an acupuncture point, although it's related to the nerve ending, it's not related to the nerve ending that registers pain. Probably stimulates some other nerve endings also. That's why when you don't feel acupuncture, it doesn't mean it's not effective. It just means that it's affecting something else. So these are the trigger points where when you hit the right spot, you have multiple areas of improvement. So acupuncture is not for a specific problem or a disease or a symptom. It's for you, which means when you're just born with certain points on the body that are more reactive than other points on the body. So it's acupuncturist's responsibility to locate those. Again, these acupuncture points have been around for a long, 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 long time. And within that framework, within that limited number of choices, we find the ones that have the best effect for you. So it's like hitting the trigger point or hitting the bullseye of the target. When you hit the bullseye, everything falls together. So you could come in with the headache, or you could come in with the back pain, or you could come in with drug addiction, or you could come in with other problems. The same points still help you because it's hitting the bullseye of the target. The target is you, not the problem. The bullseye is the trigger point. And then one of the outcome is that in the brain's chemistry, it becomes normalized. That's why you feel better. That's why you could recover from addiction. That's why you could reduce withdrawal symptoms quickly. I mean, even right away. Yeah. And so then as a result, you could say, well, then the acupuncture, it not only helps the body, but it also helps the subconscious mind. Of course, not the conscious mind because it'll make you change your mind. But acupuncture doesn't do that. It helps to reset your internal system so that your subconscious mind calms down and your physiological body also becomes normalized. As a result, consciously, you feel good. You feel like you're getting your head out of the water. You feel like you're going out of the forest into the open. Now you have more control of yourself. And it's a very subjective journey. Rather than, of course, we want to know what objective things are happening, but subjectively, you feel better. You have more focus, more clarity, more energy. You feel more integrated. You have more stamina. Well, that's what we want because that's quality of living. So therefore, you could do things that you are meant to do, not being held back by something else that is overcoming you.
That's
as you could tell, yeah, thank you. As you could tell, these I put acupuncture needles in the hand and the foot area. They're so tiny. It's about 1/5 of a millimeter, which means you could put several of those acupuncture needles in a hole of a hypodermic needle. So it's very low pain threshold. It has very low pain. If you might feel it, you might feel a little prick, but that's pretty much about it. Yes.
No, I can vouch for that because I have got myself treated for frozen shoulder, and there was just a tingle, not really a pain. So let's talk a little bit about benefits of acupuncture as well.
Yeah. Okay. Again, so acupuncture is not targeted. You want to get many benefits as possible. And acupuncture is holistic. What does holistic mean? Holistic means that you get, again, many benefits as possible, or get many benefits. An example is exercise and diet. When you do exercise, you have multiple benefits. When you eat good meal, healthy meal, you have many benefits. And you don't have negative side effects. You get many good side effects, and that's called holistic effect. And that's what acupuncture does. So the outcome with the acupuncture would be having less craving. Your mood swing is more normalized, so you feel more comfortable within. Of course, less pain, less inflammation. Any disease will have inflammation associated with it. So when you feel less inflammation, you could say, yeah, I'm getting better. And of course, you have increased focus, clarity of the mind, more energy. You feel like your mind and the body are integrated together. You don't feel like your body is the master and your mind is the horse, where your body just pulling you all over the place, but you have more control of yourself. And you call all of that a sense of well-being. When you have a higher sense of well-being, that's an outcome. it cannot directly give energy. It cannot directly give sense of well-being. You have to adjust the whole body. It's like getting a tune-up in a car. You adjust this, that, there, here, and there, and as a whole, it functions more smoothly and seamlessly. Therefore, it responds better, and you have more energy. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Should I go to
So,
the next slide?
yeah,
Or,
that's higher sense of well-being, and that's what you get with the acupuncture. Yes.
so specifically to opioid withdrawal, could you talk about how acupuncture works?
Okay. All right. With the acupuncture visits, most people see a significant improvement within 3 to 6 acupuncture visits. If it's a severe condition, you want to get 3 times a week acupuncture for the first 2 weeks, and then twice a week after that. If it is if it is more of a moderate or lower type of withdrawal symptom, then you just come twice a week. And the total treatment does not last for more than 3 months because you're noticing the improvement on a weekly basis. So if 1 week is better than the prior week, and so on, then you have an added benefit where only after a few weeks, you're just much better, and you're expecting at least 80% of improvement for most people. Of course, many people have pretty much close to 100%, or you could say 100%.
That's a very, very good success rate overall. I think it would be helpful for our viewers if you could share a couple of success cases so that they can relate to how it might help them.
Yes. So then this would be one of the example. A male, age 23. He was in a car accident 6 years ago. Yeah, broken bone, broken limb, and also severed his muscle. So he had to have his muscle tendon reattached. And so he was having a chronic pain so much that he was only able to sleep 2 or 3 hours per night. And of course, he had to take the strong medication, the opioids. And at a certain point, he started doing the heroin because he got addicted to it. And it was also helping him, and he felt like he had no way out. And the funny thing is that on the first day of treatment, many people notice significant improvement on the first day. About 40 to 50% noticed it with just one visit. And he slept while he was on the table. And his mom was next to him, and she was just surprised. And so I left him there. I think it was about an hour or an hour and a half where he had a really good sleep. And from then on, he came twice a week, and within about 16 treatments, he was pretty much out of the woods. It felt like he was within control. And then continual treatments after that helped him to be more stable and helped him to put his past behind him. You know that saying, time is medicine? When you're better for a long time, then you tend to forget and forgive what was in the past. And that's where he was. He was at. And he felt like he could now move on because he had the problem in his teen and his life was on hold. It was very important for his whole family, of course, his mom, for him to move on and do something that's constructive for him and also for the society.
That's very encouraging. And I'm assuming you said total of 27 acupuncture treatments over a period of 3 or 4 months. You said he came twice a week to your
Correct.
clinic.
Yes,
so,
yes.
And he was completely withdrawn from the opiate addiction after your treatments. So
yes. Yes, he was doing constructive things. Before it was very difficult for him to exercise and work out because that was creating a lot of pain. And he started in the 3rd month, he started exercising, and he was lifting weights. He was building up his muscles, big and bulky, and that was a physical, objective manifestation where it really let him know that he could do things when he puts his mind to it, and he could do things because he's free to put his mind to the objective he's chasing after.
It's very encouraging. Let's talk about a different age group in case, and specifically for women as well, that it would help.
Okay. Yes. This lady, she's age 63, and she wasn't on opiates. She was on SSRI and benzodiazepine, which are for anxiety and depression. And she was on that for a very long time because she had autoimmune disease. And at a certain point, she had a serotonin syndrome, which is flooding of serotonin in the brain, manifesting as vomiting, diarrhea, tremor, cold sweat, confusion, agitation, and headache. So when she came in, her friend had to help her out. And when I saw her, she was shivering, trembling, cold sweat, and she was talking incoherently. And when she was on the table, she was in a fetal position, and her friend had to take off her shoes for her. After the acupuncture, all the symptoms got better. She was talking coherently, she was sweating less, she put on her shoes on her own, and she walked out by herself. And she had 2 more acupuncture treatments after that, which made her feel even better. And she had an appointment at a drug rehab center. And so she went there for a couple of 2, 3 weeks, and then she came back. And she told me that the acupuncture, the result of acupuncture, the benefit of acupuncture was much better than the detox center that she went to. And so a detox center is very, very important. I'm not reducing that at all. What I'm saying is that we need to add acupuncture to the already existing protocol. And so she had about 3 or 4 more treatments after that, after she came back, and that was it. That's all she needed. And her mind was back to normal, and she did not have to go back taking the SSRI or benzodiazepine. But she did have to take some other thing because she had some other ongoing immune system issue. And so at least for this drug withdrawal symptom, I was able to address it right away, and she was significantly better.
That's actually very encouraging because only 6 treatments. We have another case.
It's total 8 treatments, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, eight treatments, but still, it's like 4 weeks or something like that, and that's very encouraging.
Yeah.
Talk about another acute case, if you could, please.
Okay. Yeah, this patient is he had uh, um, a toxic effect from over drinking alcohol. His life was just falling apart. His family, there was death in the family, and he didn't have such a good relationship with other family members, and so he started drinking a lot. And of course, if you drink a lot, it taxes the liver, and eventually the liver fails. And he did have a acute liver failure, and because of that, he admitted himself to the hospital, and then after that to a sober living, where he went to live there so that he doesn't on his own get the alcohol because he was still addicted to it. And so he was, and what that caused was backup of fluid in his abdomen into his legs. So he had edema in his legs. At the time when I first saw him, it was improving. So the edema was starting to improve, I think a week prior. And then after I gave him the acupuncture, he was coming twice a week. And every week, the improvement of the edema was accelerated, indicating that acupuncture was not only for chemical balance, but it actually helps the organs to recover. And not only that, again, acupuncture is so holistic that it also treats aches and pains and inflammation and muscle and tendon issues. So he had chronic knee pain, Achilles pain, and hip pain, and that got addressed very well. And the improvement is less intense, less frequent, and shorter in duration on a weekly basis. So although there's fluctuation every week, improving further than the week before. And so then acupuncture is not just for the mind, not just for the muscle and tendon or joint, it's also for the internal organ. I don't treat alcohol addiction because that has more to do with the social setting and those things. So definitely with anybody, whether they're addicted to any drugs, they have to have family support. They have to have doctor support, and it'll be a good idea for them to be also associated with some type of a supporting group. And then you add acupuncture to that, then you have a comprehensive, even better result.
I think that's actually very encouraging for a lot of people who are addicted to opioids. And we want to open it up. These are very short presentations. Dr. Lee is also available for consultations. If someone has these issues, if someone has any questions, please ask the questions now. And Dr. Lee is here to answer your personal, these are educational sessions, but we are here to answer your questions. Okay. So one of the questions actually is that when you're treating these different users with opioid withdrawal symptoms, do you also recommend some Chinese herbs that go with it, or it's just only acupuncture sessions?
Well, it depends on the region and the type of people. My area, acupuncture is well known. As with the herbs, it's not as well known, but I take herbs on from Monday to Friday. When I'm working, I take herbs in the morning, and I feel good with that. On the weekends, I rest because I'm on a maintenance stage. Prior to that, I recommend people to take herbs regularly. For about a month, and then or 2 months, and then taper that down to half for the following month or two, and then after that they take it as a maintenance because herbs have so many benefits, but you don't have to take so much of it. When you're doing better, you just take just enough that you are at the stable state rather than fluctuating, because you don't want to have a problem coming back and then take the herbs again. But herbs are meant to treat the problem and have you stay at the better state, just like acupuncture does. And so then, yes, I do recommend herbs, and about 15 to 20% of my patients do take the herbs because people just don't have one problem. They have multiple problems. And for the opiate addiction, acupuncture and herbs work together to make it even better result. Acupuncture can be enough for many people. If you are open for taking the herbs, I think it's great because, again, the herbs are just so helpful from inside out.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dr. Lee. If all of you, Dr. Lee is available on Nourish Doc for consultation. He has his wellness plans. We will be sending all the attendees with the information. You're welcome to contact us at care@nourishdoc.com. Please give us your feedback, how you liked this session, and give us your feedback. Any final comments from you, Dr. Lee, before we sign off?
No other question. Well, thank you for attending, and believe in acupuncture because it really works well. I think it is the next step in revolution and evolution in healthcare that modern world even continues to need